Previously on SmackDown.
I find it hilarious that our past associations with WCW is the reason why, if we lose at Fully Loaded, then we're fired. So Linda, how do you plan to solve this undemocratic conundrum? Best of 3 tonight, and I'm gonna prove it right now. So William Regal, come on out here and face me like a man.
Regal taps out. The referee rings for the bell as Benoit gets the victory.
I know we've got to win the remaining 2 matches. I'll be going one-on-one with Jericho later. Me and you should team up tonight to take on Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko.
Raven, it's the Raven effect. A successful game plan by the game. Raven goes for the pin as the referee makes the count. Hey, it's Eddie! It's Eddie, screams Cole. Triple H turns around only to walk into an enziguri by Chris Jericho. He goes for the pin. This stipulation now not only applies to you guys, but as a result of your victory tonight, will now also apply to the team of Triple H, Big Show, Haku, William Regal, and Raven.
Rock, I'm guaranteeing that you can get out of this ring right now and get the hell out of my arena.
That's The Rock! But look at Mount Rushmore in the background.
Austin, the countdown and your reign as WWF champion is over.
With just an hour to go before Fully Loaded gets underway, the camera shows Caesar's Palace in all its glory as we're welcome to Sunday Night Heat. Beyond the cheap seats and the bleeders, up into the skybox, are Michael Cole and Tazz, who talk about tonight's main event in Las Vegas, where Stone Cold Steve Austin will defend the WWF Championship against The Rock. A quick recap from SmackDown shows how the People's Champion has lived up to his guarantee by getting the last word on the Texas Rattlesnake 3 days ago in Rapid City. But the question is, can the Brahma Bull do the same tonight? A reminder from Cole, The Rock must leave as WWF Champion in Las Vegas, because if he does not, if he fails to beat Stone Cold Steve Austin for the title, then the People's Champion will never be able again to challenge for the WWF Championship. Michael Cole believes The Rock will get the job done tonight, whereas Tazz thinks that won't be the case. It wasn't that long ago that Steve Austin and Deborah entered Caesar's Palace, the Bionic Redneck demanding Deborah go grab his bags as he prepares for tonight, Deborah none too impressed with the request. Back to Michael Cole and Tazz in the skybox. 8 matches signed for Fully Loaded, but before that there will be 3 matches for Sunday Night Heat tonight, as we will hear from Big Boss Man and Chris Hero before their tag team match against Kai and Tai. The Cobb County, Georgia native has expressed his disgust with the way the rookie Chris Hero has conducted himself in his first month within the WWF. But it was in Raw last Monday where, thanks to an assist from Big Boss Man, Chris Hero was able to defeat TAKA Michinoku. Boss Man is to explain his actions as Kai and Tai are looking for revenge in tonight's tag team match. Also on the card, the WWF bears witness to a man about to bow out of the wrestling industry, taking on an opponent who could well be the future of the wrestling industry, as Giant Silva takes on Leviathan. The 7'2" Brazilian announced his decision to leave wrestling last month, and the former oddity has a chance to bow out of the WWF with a victory, but his opponent won't be a pushover, as Silva takes on the Demon of the Deep, Leviathan. Now Leviathan has been, no pun intended, making waves within Next Gen, and he has had experience wrestling on Sunday Night Heat, taking on the likes of the Brothers of Destruction, Raven, Rikishi and Test. Leviathan may not be 7'2", but nevertheless at 6'6" and £290, he's very much an imposing figure, and he'll be looking to showcase his dominance at the expense of Giant Silva later. And in Heat's main event, the one Billy Gunn takes on Jeff Hardy. There may not be much by way of stakes between the One and the Extreme Daredevil, but there will be pride. All this to come tonight, as well as Cole and Tazz talking about what to expect for Fully Loaded as Sunday Night Heat gets underway. The Brothers of Destruction talk to each other backstage. It seems the tension between The Undertaker and Kane has only been exacerbated following Christian's interruption in SmackDown's main event 3 days ago, which led to Stone Cold gain the victory on the American Badass.
Yeah, nice going, brother. It's because of your late arrival to ringside and not dealing with that Canadian punk is the reason why I didn't beat Steve Austin in Rapid City. My late arrival? Hey, I did what was asked of me. I dealt with Christian's interruption. Yeah, right after he had the nerve to get in the ring. So I gave that sorry son bitch the last ride. Then what did you do? Get in the ring and throw Christian outside? Big deal. Yeah, I threw Christian over the top and kept watching ringside. Then what did you do? Oh, that's right. You got distracted by Triple H. And then you got beat by Stone Cold. You think I'm the problem here? The only problem here, brother, is you.
The tension is at fever pitch. They're about to explode.
Come on then, brother. You think I'm such a problem? Then do something about it. Come on, Kane. Diablo's ready. Diablo's ready, Kane. Show me what you got. You want me to do something about it? You want me to do something about it? You want Diablo's ready? Then I will. Wait here. I'll be back soon.
Kane leaves. The Undertaker looks at his brother in disbelief as the Big Red Machine walks off. Undertaker shouting,
"Oh, you're walking away like a coward? That's not what I expected from you, Kane. Where's the big red monster I once knew, huh? Well, you just lost my respect."
A stunned Cole and Tazz speak about what just went down with the Brothers of Destruction. "Oh my," says Cole. "I really thought The Undertaker and Kane were about to explode."
So did I, Cole. But why didn't they? And why didn't Kane decide to walk away? Is the Big Red Machine afraid of his big brother? And not just that, Tazz, but why did Kane tell Undertaker to wait there? What is Kane up to? And also, what does Undertaker mean by Diablos readied? Well, speaking of explanations of their actions, we're about to get underway with the first match tonight on Heat. Chris Hero and the Big Boss Man will take on Kaientai momentarily. So it's time to go down to ringside with Jonathan Coachman, and he has a very special guest working with him tonight. Haha, the coach! That's right, guys. Thank you, Tazz and Cole. Coach here at ringside in beautiful Las Vegas. And speaking of lucky, I have indeed drawn the long straw, as I had the pleasure of being joined tonight on Heat by the lovely Trish Stratus. Well, thank you, and yes, Coach, you are correct, because the pleasure is all yours. Big Boss Man and Chris Hero make their way down the ramp together as Coach explains to the audience what led these teams to tonight's tag team match. The rookie Chris Hero is having his trial by fire, so to speak, within the World Wrestling Federation. His introductions and showing respect to his peers have been rather mixed than hit, and he's certainly learning the hard way what it takes to be a WWF superstar. But it wasn't until SmackDown 10 days ago when Big Boss Man, the latest superstar to refuse a handshake from Hero, argued that the rookie should rather be kicking ass rather than kissing it. So it was more surprising than Raw last week when Chris Hero went one-on-one with TAKA Michinoku, when out came Big Boss Man to help Chris Hero get the victory. But the question is, why did the Boss Man help Hero? We're about to find out now, as Big Boss Man is in the ring with the rookie, and he has a mic. "You know, when I see a promising rookie come to the World Wrestling Federation trying to make a name for himself in this industry, and I see that newcomer come round and introduce himself to the WWF superstars and offer handshakes, it makes me want to throw up. Now, I didn't get to the top by introducing myself and shake hands with the so-called peers. Oh, hello, sir. My name is Bossman, sir. Shake my hand, sir. Please, sir. That's pathetic. I didn't get to the top of the WWF by extending my hand. I got to the top by extending my fist and serving high times. So when I look at a newcomer like Chris Hero here, a blue chipper so easy to please the WWF roster, I don't want to shake your hand, Hero. I want to shake your damn hand and tell you to wake up. You've got potential, boy, and under my tutelage, you'll no longer be introducing yourself and shaking hands. No, you will be the one extending fists and serving hard times like me. You'll be the one climbing to the top of the World Wrestling Federation. So Kantai, come on out, as me and my new boy will show you what hard times is all about.
The coach isn't too sure about what to make of Big Boss Man's explanation. It would seem the right thing to do, as a rookie, to show respect to your peers. Introduce yourself and shake hands, coach feels. But Trish agrees with Big Boss Man. You don't make a name for yourself by treading carefully and being respectful. You make a name for yourself any way you can. That's what Trish did when she made her debut in the WWF last year, she says. Although the coach is at a loss for words and how to respond to Trish. This is the chance for TAKA Michinoku and Funaki to get their revenge on Bossman's interference, leading to Hero's victory last Monday, and it looks like they mean business. No goofy voiceovers, no evil, not even an indeed. Kai and Tai are focused. They might not be the biggest of tag teams in the WWF, but their tag team experience should give them the advantage over the team of the rookie and the Cobb County, Georgia native. Kai and Tai versus the new team of Big Boss Man and Chris Hero in Sunday Night Heat's opening match in Sin City. And funnily enough, it will be the participants from Monday Night Raw's singles match that will get us underway. Chris Hero and TAKA Michinoku, as the referee rings for the bell. Oh, Chris Hero coming out guns a-blazing! It will be interesting to see what influence the Big Boss Man has had over the newcomer this past week. Hero laying out the chops and Taka. Oh, what a night this promises to be. So much on the... Oh, the big boot from Hero! Taka's in trouble already. The rookie making the tag to the Cobb County, Georgia native. It doesn't look promising for Kaintai in the opening moments. Even Trish is feeling vindicated in her defence of Bossman's promo earlier and influence over the newcomer Hero. The former light heavyweight champion showcasing his fighting spirit in dealing with both Bossman and Hero. He's downed and out by a clothesline from behind, but he's up to counter an attack into an enziguri. Bossman taking the fight to his opponent, but Taka counters an attack and makes a tag to Funaki. Funaki with the head scissors on Bossman. Coach going for the card with Trish. Will we see a new WWF champion in The Rock tonight, or will Stone Cold retain as Funaki hits another head scissors on Bossman? Will Vince vow to stay out of Stone Cold's corner as Funaki goes for the pin, but Bossman kicks out before the referee can count one. 10-man tag team elimination match. Triple H, Big Show, Haku, Raven and William Regal taking on Chris Jericho and the Radicals. Losers will be fired. Winners to receive WWF title shots of their choosing. Wait, what's going on here? Funaki places Bossman some distance away and launches Taka like a lawn dart at his opponent. Great double team move from Kai and Tai. Their experience is showing. Taka jumping over the top and taking out the Big Boss Man. Great aerial attack from the former light heavyweight champion as he gestures towards the crowd. WWF Women's title on the line. Aja Kong defends the belt against Jacqueline. Taka throws Big Boss Man back into the ring and goes for the pin. Oh, what sweet revenge this could be, but Boss Man kicks out at one. Taka continues his attacks as Coach asks Trish why she decided not to help Jacqueline in that tag team match last Monday on Raw. Trish asks Coach, "Have you seen the size of Aja?" "No thanks, Coach. I'm not getting in the ring with that behemoth. I can't keep my fans satisfied if I get squished by Aja Kong. But good luck to Jackie tonight, Coach. She's gonna need it." Jacqueline must win the women's title tonight or else she must retire, as Bossman's pin is broken up by Funaki. The Cobb County, Georgia native is angered by this and throws Funaki back into the ring, but Taka is on hand to win a DDT and goes for the pin himself. The referee makes the count as Hero gets in the ring to break up the count, although it looked like Bossman kicked out anyway. Kurt Angle versus Shane McMahon in a street fight with rewards and consequences for the winner and loser. If Angle wins, he will be guaranteed a future WCW World Heavyweight title shot, but if Shane wins, Kurt must leave the WWF and join World Championship Wrestling. Coach asks Trish what she thinks of the match. Trish says she's fully confident that everyone's Hero, and Trish's, that is Kurt Angle, will be victorious in tonight's match. Funaki has Bossman in the corner. The authoritarian is felled, and Funaki responds with a kick to the face of Bossman. Big Bossman's lying on the mat. Funaki goes for the pin. Is this enough? No, again, just a one count. Funaki makes the tag to Taka. Coach talks about the triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. Rikishi defending the gold against Edge and Test. Coach asks Trish if she has a favourite. and Trish responds by saying she's got to go with a fellow Canadian, Edge. He will be the new Intercontinental Champion. The coach then asks Trish why not Test? He's Canadian too, right? But Trish tells Jonathan Coachman that she's worked with Test as a client in the past, the team of TNA. Trish can't explain the reason as she's cut off by Coach, who's noticed Hero leave the corner and goes round the ring. Bossman attacks her in the corner. Hero takes Funaki off the ring apron, landing face first, and then the rookie follows up with a face buster. Trish applauds the attack. Bossman bounces Taka's head in the turnbuckle as Hero returns to his corner. Funaki is down and out at ringside. Scoop slam from the Cobb County Georgia native. Irish whipping Taka into the corner. Tag to Chris Hero. What could the duo be up to here? Hero and Bossman with a double Irish whip to the former light heavyweight champion. Bossman picks Taka up into Chris Hero. Oh, what a move, says Coach. And Funaki's still down. Hero goes for the pin as the referee makes the count. It's a great start for the rookie in his first tag team match with the Cobb County Georgia native. The unassuming blue chipper has heeded the advice of the authoritarian, taking a devious road and attacking Funaki in his corner to set up that devastating double team move into a power slam, allowing Hero to beat Taka again. The coach isn't impressed with the manner of how Chris Hero has conducted himself tonight, whereas Trish continues to justify agreement with Bossman's promo. She's impressed with the outcome. Trish also says she needs a hero in her life. A clever joke or foreboding? We're in Vince McMahon's VIP suite as the chairman talks to his daughter and son-in-law when a knock at the door can be heard.
Come in! Hey Vince, sorry we're late. It seems a certain someone is struggling to carry my bags. But Steve, they're heavy! That's no excuse. You're married to Stone Cold Steve Austin, the WWF champion. Excuse me? Steve, what's her problem? Yes, Steve. Did Deborah wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? That's not important. What is important is... Oh, that's not important? That's not important? Do you know something, Steve? I'm sick and tired of being treated as your servant. Carrying your bags, picking up your beer cans. Well, guess what? I've had enough. In fact, I've had enough of all of you. Triple H, I hope that Chris Jericho's team beats you tonight and puts you out of a job. Vince, I hope Linda takes you to court and divorces you and takes you for every stinking dime. And as for divorce, Steve, you better start treating me as a loving husband I once knew, or else I'll be getting someone else to serve you. Not in beer, but in papers. Goodbye.
Deborah walks off. Vince, Stephanie and Triple H all look gobsmacked with Deborah's words, but Austin's nonplussed about what his wife has just said.
Never mind. She'll come round. Look, Vince, about Thursday, you said on SmackDown that you guarantee that you wouldn't be in the corner of Stone Cold Steve Austin tonight. That's right, Steve. I told The Rock I will not be in your corner tonight, and that is indeed something that I guarantee.
But Dad, you guaranteed that The Rock would get the hell out of the arena in Rapid City, but he's not back into the arena.
Yeah, Vince, your guarantee failed to deliver. Exactly, and that won't be the only guarantee failing to deliver after tonight.
Austin, Triple H and Stephanie look at each other, then come to the realisation that Vince must be referring to The Rock leaving as WWF champion tonight, being the guarantee that will fail to deliver.
You all get it. Good. Now that takes care of the WWF title situation. Now, Triple H, I knew you gotta go get ready for your 10-man tag team elimination tonight. And just before
You know what, Dad, that reminds me. I've also got some things to get off my chest regarding my husband's match tonight. And you know, I think I'm gonna go tell it to the WWF audience. I'll see you all soon. Stephanie walks off, leaving just Vince McMahon with Austin and Triple H.
Just like old times. Hunter, you concentrate on working with your team for the 10-man tag team elimination match, and leave the rest with me. Speaking of guaranteeing, I guarantee that both of you won't have to worry about a thing. Now, gentlemen, if you don't mind, I need to make an important phone call, so I'll let you both go and get ready.
Triple H and Austin leave as Vince is about to pick up the phone, but before he can make a call, he's interrupted by CEO Linda McMahon and former Commissioner Mick Foley, who could well be the future Commissioner again.
Oh, God damn! What do I have to do to get some peace in my own room? What the hell do you want?
You seem a little wound up, Vince. Is the pressure getting too much for you? Just say the word, and as your loving wife, I could put you in a mental hospital, and there I can guarantee you peace of mind.
Oh, very funny, Linda. If you didn't know, I'm too busy to rest. I've got a damn company to run.
Well, this is why I'm here, Vince. You told me that if Mick Foley was able to find out who the Black Mask was 10 days ago in SmackDown, then you would consider Foley for the role of Commissioner once again. Come on, Vince. In the interest of fairness.
And not only that, Vinny, but let's do it tonight, because I'm feeling lucky seeing as we're right here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay. Look, I really need to make this phone call, so if you leave me be, I'll see you in the ring tonight for Fully Loaded, and then I will make my decision regarding the role of Commissioner. Is that okay?
Thank you very much, Vince.
Cheers, Vinny!
Foley and Linda leave, Vince finally getting the piece he's been wanting in his VIP suite, before he makes the phone call.
Hello. So you'll be able to make it to Vegas?
And that's what I'm focusing on now. I'm focusing on my business, which is the WCW.
Vince, that's why I wanted to talk to you, because it's about Shane. I've seen a few of the wrestlers hanging out with each other. Benoit, Malenko, Guerrero and Saturn. I've seen the four of them talk with Shane McMahon, and they were asking about his plans with WCW. He's making plans. Shane's making plans to law back former WCW talent, isn't he? Well, we're not gonna let that happen. I'll take care of it. I know there's four of them, but I'm gonna go out there and find 3 like-minded individuals who'll help me take care of the problem for you. Well, as far as your associations with WCW in the past go, including you, Jericho, you're gonna lay all your cards on the table. Because they're Fully Loaded, the 8-man tag team match, well, we just upped the ante to a 10-man tag team match. Jericho, Radicals, you will have your moment in the casino of Fully Loaded, but as far as we're concerned, game over.
You see, I wouldn't exactly call that democratic. And moreover, if Jericho and the Radicals happen to lose that match, then they're fired. We're going to have 3 matches, or rather a best of 3. And should you guys win this best of 3, I will add to the stipulation for your 10-man tag team elimination match in Las Vegas. He picks up his opponent, only for Chris Benoit to lock in the cripple crossface again. Regal's near the ropes and he might be able to break the submission, but the pain must be excruciating. The referee asks if the Goodwill ambassador has had enough. Regal taps out, but Raven's back up, and the referee has come round to. Raven hits the Raven effect. A successful game plan by the game. Raven goes for the pin as the referee makes the count. And all of a sudden it's the Radicals surrounding the game as Triple H turns around only to walk into an enziguri by Chris Jericho. He goes for the pin. The referee makes the count. The Radicals, Michael Cole and Rapid City look on in hope. Congratulations, Jericho, Radicals, you have won tonight's best of 3, because the winning team at Fully Loaded will be entitled to a future WWF title shot of that superstar's choosing. So good luck to all of you guys in Las Vegas. Michael Cole and Tazz continue to hype the 10-man tag team elimination match for tonight, thanks to singles victories for Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho on SmackDown. Y2J and the Radicals have raised the stakes for Fully Loaded. The threat of this career-ending match still looms, but this will now be applied to all 10 superstars. There's also the added stipulation that the winners will now be rewarded with a future title shot of their choosing at any time. Truly, tonight's affair is the epitome of going all in. A reminder from Cole, elimination rules. All members of the opposing team must be eliminated in order for a team to win. Who leaves Las Vegas with the jackpot? Who leaves Las Vegas with a pink slip? We'll find out soon. Cole and Tazz hand over to Jonathan Coachman and Trish Stratus at ringside. The coach briefly talking with Trish on the 10-man tag team elimination match. It's a tough one to call, Trish feels. Jericho and the Radicals may have the advantage because of Benoit and Jericho's victories in SmackDown, and because the Radicals are a close-knit group. But Stratus is just glad she signed a contract with the WWF, and therefore she has no past associations with WCW, which means she doesn't have to worry about her job. But the conversation is interrupted as Stephanie McMahon Helmsley walks to ringside. Coach asks what this is about. Stephanie did say earlier that she had something she wanted to get off her chest, but the $1 Billion Princess must be concerned that if Triple H's team don't win tonight's match, then her husband will be out of a job, leaving Stephanie on her own. Stephanie picks up a mic and addresses Caesar's Palace.
So let me get this straight. After Triple H, my husband got screwed on SmackDown, thanks to Jericho and the Radicals. My sorry bitch of a mother decides to make the stipulation, and now if Triple H gets beat tonight, then he gets fired?
The question has gone down well with the audience, with the thought of Triple H possibly being out of a job in a few hours.
Well, I've just got one thing to say to my darling Mom. Who the hell do you think you are? You think that meddling with family affairs is done so in the interests of fairness? Well, Linda, just come down to the ring. Yeah, come through these ropes and face me, and I'll show you how well my right hand works in the interests of fairness.
Whoa! Think Coach and Trish. Stephanie calling out her own mother right now on Heat? Are they going to go at it? There is a response to the challenge from Stephanie, but it's not the music of Linda McMahon, but there is a countdown on a Titantron, and this can only be one person. If Stephanie's mother was the first person she wanted to come out of the entrance, then no doubt the person actually coming out of the entrance is the last person Stephanie wants. As out comes Chris Jericho. Y2J has to be feeling good going into tonight's 10-man tag team elimination match. Jericho and the Radicals had the momentum following SmackDown 3 days ago, and what a victory for 2001's King of the Ring winner, defeating, of all people, Stephanie's husband Triple H. A look of anger and trepidation come across the face of Stephanie as the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller is in the ring and has a mic.
You know something? I never thought I'd have to say this, but Stephanie, it's actually good to see you.
A puzzled reaction from everyone in Las Vegas with that comment from Jericho.
I mean, I'm so glad you brought up the subjects of meddling with family affairs and being screwed, because let's be honest, Stephanie, as a McMahon, there's one thing that you do better than anybody else, and that's screw jobs. And now you're challenging your dear old mom to a match right now? What are you, Steph? Aren't you supposed to be the $1 billion princess? Because right now you're acting like a $1 billion baby.
Stephanie is seething. She just might take out her frustrations on Y2J instead of Linda.
Oh, Steph, you look like you want to slap me so hard. Go on, Steph, take a shot. Who knows, he might be the last chance you'll ever get tonight.
Stephanie can't bring herself to do it. Instead, she screams at Jericho and then gets out of the ring and runs up the ramp as Jericho continues on the mic.
Well, Caesar's Palace, I didn't have to use my own catchphrase to get the job done, but I'm still going to say it anyway. So, Stephanie, if you can hear me in the back, I, Chris Jericho, as well as the fans of Las Vegas, are glad that you have indeed shut the hell up. Now, I didn't come out here just to talk about irony about McMahon's and screwing. I came here to talk about irony and associations with WCW. But the irony I'm not talking about is not about myself or the Radicals. You see, we've worked in WCW, yes, but we came to the WWF. We're glad to be WWF. And sure, we talked to Shane McMahon these past few weeks. Hell, Shane O'Mac made an offer to Benoit, Guerrero, Malenko, and Saturn to join World Championship Wrestling, and they turned down Shane's offer. We are proud to be with the World Wrestling Federation, but it seems that a little birdie has gotten in the ear of Vince, and history has caught up with myself and the Radicals, and now we're being punished for our past associations. But this is where the irony comes into play. Not because of Y2J and the Radicals, no. The irony is with our opponents, Triple H, Haku, Raven, Big Show, and Regal. You guys think you're on a mission to quell WCW and its history? Which is ironic, because all 5 of you have worked with WCW in the past. In fact, take a good look at the roster of WWF superstars who have indeed worked with World Championship Wrestling in the past. Now, if your mission, Vince, is to rid the WWF superstars associated with WCW, then sure, fire me, fire the Radicals. But while you're at it, fire Haku, fire Raven, fire Regal, and fire Big Show. But don't stop there, Vince. Go ahead. Fire Big Boss Man. Fire Farouk. Fire Jerry Lynn. Fire Bull Nakano. And Vince, if you truly wanted to get rid of the stench of WCW, I dare you to fire The Undertaker. I dare you to fire Mick Foley. And go ahead, Vince, I double dare you to fire your own son-in-law, Triple H. And then, Vince, you can rid any connection with World Championship Wrestling by firing the WWF Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You see, this isn't about associations with WCW. This is about your damn ego, Vince. And your ego's about to take a bruising, courtesy of the Rings of Saturn, the Man of 1,000 Holds, the Latino Heat, the Robin Wolverine, and the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller. And as for our opponents, Meng, Giant, Lord Steven, Scotty Flamingo, and Jean-Paul Levesque, you're going to have to face the fact that when Jericho and the Radicals win in a few hours, you will be out of a job and you will never, ever be the same again.
A rather insightful promo from Y2J there, and it's one that the coach finds hard to argue with. Jericho is right. If the problem is that any WWF superstar who has worked in WCW may be indeed capable of jumping to Shane McMahon's organisation, in Vince's opinion, then Vince is going to have a hell of a time talking to a portion of the roster that used to work within World Championship Wrestling once upon a time, and making sure they don't jump ship. Coach notes the irony continuing to work itself out though. There will be a team of 5 losers becoming unemployed following a 10-man tag team elimination match. So at least there's 5 less former WCW superstars, in Vince's opinion. It's just possible that one of them might be, as Vince calls, his only son in Triple H. Well, speaking of careers ending, we're about to see another career come to an end right now, but for different reasons. And that will be the next match in a few moments. We stay with Jonathan Coachman and Trish Stratus in commentary, as the coach reminds the audience that tonight's main event in Sunday Night Heat is still to come, and it's the one Billy Gunn facing off against Jeff Hardy, as well as a talking point about several other matches yet to be mentioned for tonight's Fully Loaded pay-per-view. But now it's time for the second match of the evening, as Leviathan goes one-on-one with Giant Silva. It's possible we could be seeing the future of the World Wrestling Federation and a superstar walking down to the ring. His name is Leviathan. He is known as the Demon of the Deep. His finishing move is a sit-out powerbomb known as the Demon Bomb. At 6'6" and 290 pounds, he's definitely one to watch out for in the future. So much so that when the coach asks Trish a question about Leviathan, there's a delayed reaction in Trish's answer. He seems even Trish is impressed, and then asks Coach, where did this Leviathan come from? Coach says he's been on WWF's developmental system, Next Gen. Stratus thinks it just might be worth taking a visit to Next Gen if there's more of where Leviathan came from. But if the question is, does size matter? And if the answer is yes, then Trish might want to hold her thoughts, because out comes Giant Silva to the ring. The South American may not be 6'6", but he absolutely is 7'2". and someone who can say that they can match Big Show at eye level. Jonathan Coachman tells the audience that Giant Silva made it known back in May that he will be retiring from professional wrestling in a couple of weeks, and this will be the last match of Giant Silva in the WWF right now. Silva is probably best known for being a member of the Oddity stable, along with Golga, Kurgan and Luna 3 years ago, but on his final night in the World Wrestling Federation, he finds himself in singles action against possibly the next great talent in the wrestling industry. Coach and Trish resume their conversation on the Triple Threat Intercontinental title match, Leviathan getting the early advantage in this match, and surely doing what many opponents could not do, and that's take Giant Silva off his feet. Trish says she fancies Edge to win the Intercontinental title as a fellow Canadian, and not Test, because Trish has worked with Test before in the past, and despite his size, Trish feels Test always came up a little short. Leviathan's showing the potential of a dominant force so far in the ring. He's still yet to pick up a win on Sunday Night Heat, but he's also showing that he's not far off a call up to the main roster if he keeps up this performance. Coach has spoken too soon. Giant Silva countering a Batista attack using his legs. The former Oddity Irish whips Leviathan into the ropes. Nice power slam by Giant Silva. Can he win his last match in the WWF? Oh, Leviathan kicks out at 1. Coachman then moves on to the next match. 6-pack challenge for the Hardcore Championship. Rob Van Dam to defend against Farouk, Bradshaw, Jerry Lynn, Al Snow and Stephen Richards. Giant Silva picks Leviathan up. Oh man! A scoop slam with Leviathan bouncing off the ropes before landing on the mat. Leviathan having to roll out to ringside. Coach asks Trish who she's got for the 6-pack challenge. Well, despite the 1 in 6 chance of a retention, the former manager for TNA feels that Rob Van Dam can be victorious and retain his Hardcore Championship. Giant Silva continues the flurry of attacks on Leviathan at ringside. Oh, what a spinning knee! Perhaps Coach was a bit presumptuous on Leviathan's dominance. Oh, what a shot by Giant Silva! But he needs to get back in the ring before the count of 10. The South American picks up the Demon of the Deep, but Leviathan breaks free of Giant Silva with elbows. We're getting closer to 10. Leviathan's back in the ring, but Giant Silva slides into the ring just in time. European title on the line. Matt Hardy defends the belt against Rhino. Jonathan Coachman talks about the impressive reign that Hardy is having. He's held onto the belt for 3 months now, beating the likes of Billy Gunn, Christian and Eddie Guerrero. But Trish feels his time is up, and that the Man-Beast will gore his way to European gold in a few hours. The camera's picked up on Leviathan's bloody face. That must have come from that haymaker Giant Silva delivered at ringside. Leviathan looking to throw his opponent into the barricade, only for Giant Silva to reverse the move and throw Leviathan into the barricade himself. And lastly, the tag team titles are on the line in a tables match as Giant Silva throws Leviathan back into the ring. Coach expects the Douglas to retain as it's a stipulation they're very familiar with, but Trish says you shouldn't rule out X Factor. They have been tag team champions before, and they beat The Undertaker and Kane of all teams to lift those titles. But back in the ring, Leviathan and Giant Silva exchanging hands, seeing who can get the better of each other. Leviathan hitting Giant Silva with a chop to the chest. Giant Silva returning the favour with another haymaker. Leviathan shakes off the cobwebs and responds with a haymaker of his own, but this has enraged the former Oddity. But the right hand from Giant Silva is blocked by the Demon of the Deep. Leviathan is in control with the attacks and grabs at his opponent to hit a DDT, and Coach has noted that it looks like the South American himself has been blooded. The bigger they are, the harder they fall, it seems, as Giant Silva is having to use the ropes to pull himself back up, only for Leviathan to shove him back down to the mat and stomp at the Brazilian to keep him down. Leviathan's climbing a turnbuckle. What's he thinking here? Oh, what a splash from the Demon of the Deep! That surely has to be the end. Leviathan signals that enough is enough, kicks his opponent in the gut and grabs at Giant Silva. He picks up the South American and hits the Demon Bomb. Leviathan makes the pin as the referee makes the count. Leviathan is finally off the mark in the World Wrestling Federation, and it's come at the expense of an opponent bigger than he is. A hard-fought contest between two giants in the wrestling industry. One from the past who bows out to the WWF in defeat, whilst the one for the future continues in celebration. We may be seeing more from the Demon of the Deep perhaps in the World Wrestling Federation, as Trish is intrigued about Leviathan's situation. Is he finished in Next Gen? Does he want to come to the WWF? And does he need a valet perhaps? Coach thanks the TV audience as well as Trish because their commentary duties for Sunday Night Heat are now done. Big Boss Man and Chris Hero talk about their victory over Kai and Tai. The Cobb County, Georgia native telling the rookie on the way he conducted himself tonight, extending his right fist in tonight's match, has worked. But a tour interrupted by Vince McMahon, who nods and smiles at the team.
Excellent job you two did out there against Kai and Tai. Now, rookie, you can...
the name is Chris Hero. The response from Hero, interrupting Vince, has left the chairman and Big Boss Man in shock. Was that wise from Hero?
Really? Now let's get something right. The name is Vince McMahon, pal. And if you want to interrupt me when I'm talking like you've developed a big ego, well, let me tell you this, Chris. I like men with big egos. So, Big Hero, Chris Hero, let me be the one to extend my hand out to you.
Bossman nods at Hero to shake Vince's hand, and he obliges.
Now, I know you bossman have vowed to extend fists, not hands. So I was wondering if I could have use of your services for later tonight. What's wrong?
Bossman and Hero's eyes widen, because unbeknownst to the chairman, the big red machine, Kane, he stood right behind him. Vince turns round and jumps out of his skin.
My God! What is it with people creeping up behind me? Do you want me to suffer a heart attack? And I suppose you'd like to request something too. Well, go on then. What is it? Vince, I need you to listen very carefully. Because if you don't agree to my request, then I'll make sure tonight that what you suffer is a lot more than a heart attack. Okay, Kane. I know you're upset about what Austin and Triple H did to your brother and No, this has nothing to do with Austin or Triple H. Now listen, you give me what I want, then I'll make sure you'll be leaving Las Vegas in one piece.
Vince gulps and acknowledges the big red machine. The Rock is seen entering the parking lot of Caesar's Palace. Michael Cole and Tazz hype up the #1 contender to the WWF title. But does the People's Champion live up to his guarantee of leaving Las Vegas as the new WWF Champion? Or will this be the Great One's last shot at WWF Championship Gold?
I told the WWF superstars in the back that I'm not broken down. In fact, I'm better than I have ever been. Jackie, you ask too much. But we accept your offer of tag team match on Raw if you accept our offer. Arjo win, you lose Korea. I accept.
Jumps over a fallen opponent and taunts Molly, only for Molly to grab Arjo by the head and headbutt the women's champion. Arjo is down at ringside. Jacqueline sets up Ball and hits a spinning heel kick. Jacqueline makes the cover as Molly cheers her on. Arjo's still down and hasn't seen the finish. The referee makes the count.
For God, Paul! Jacqueline and Molly just beat Arjo Kong and Bull Nakano. Jackie's game plan has worked.
This is a great showing by Jacqueline. She then demands Bull get up as Jacqueline must surely be looking for the exclamation point, the spinning heel kick.
Oh, come on!
Jacqueline would surely have beaten Bull tonight had Arjo Kong not decided to interrupt.
Then you find strength for Las Vegas. Because I fully loaded your career over!
Michael Cole and Tazz hype up the women's title match following the recap of how Arjo Kong and Jacqueline got to Fully Loaded. But the challenge was jumped from behind by both the champion Arjo and her manager Bull Nakano. Cole is incensed with the attack.
What a cheap shot, Taz! Why does Arjo need to attack Jackie before the biggest title match of her career?
Cole then goes on to argue that perhaps the women's champion continues to be concerned over her grip in the women's division following that tag team defeat to Jacqueline on Raw this past Monday. Maybe the challenger is in the head of the champion when the two clash for the women's title soon. Shane is seen walking towards two of the Radicals, Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, who are talking about the 10-man tag team elimination match tonight.
Chris, Eddie, look, I know things haven't turned out the way I wanted to, but as far as your tag team elimination match goes tonight, I just wanted to wish you and the rest of your team good luck. I know your jobs are on the line and all, but...
Shane, let me cut you off there, Benoit says, interrupting the WCW owner.
Now we're thankful that at least you consider the Radicals the best damn team in the WWF. But that's just it, Shane. We are Team WWF. Our careers are on the line, and our time in the World Wrestling Federation may be over after tonight, but at least we were given the opportunity to showcase our talent. Nothing personal, Shane, but as far as our careers went in World Championship Wrestling, and with your offer to come back to WCW, it was just too little, too late.
Shane holds up his hands.
Hey, that's fine. I just didn't want to harbour any ill will, and regardless of you saying no, I hope you are victorious tonight. All the best.
Benoit and Guerrero look at the WCW owner as Shane walks away.
Kurt Angle from Pittsburgh, the 1996 Olympic gold medal winner.
I'm an Olympic champion. It's true. It's damn true.
Hey, wait! They're shooting!
Now, Kurt, you have your 3 eyes. But, Kurt, I also have 3 letters. And those letters are WCW. W stands for wrestling, which obviously you are very good at that. But W also stands for, I don't know, wussy.
Oh, wait! Oh, my God! Oh, my God! The Angle slam! Wait! There's Shane McMahon! What the hell? I thought he was thrown out of here! Shane McMahon, the owner of WCW, has struck again! Shane McMahon just nailed Kurt Angle!
The Olympic gold medalist.
I'm Kurt Angle, challenge you, Shane McMahon, to a street fight!
The WCW owner.
WCW is starting very soon, and it's starting sooner than everyone thinks.
Kurt Angle.
You may be the owner of WCW. I will own you, Shane McMahon.
Shane McMahon.
We are talking about WCW. That's true. Stay tuned. Things are going to get very interesting.
Cole and Tazz hype up the Shane McMahon vs Kurt Angle street fight match. Ramifications will be felt here following the conclusion of this match, as one way or another, history will be made, and it will either be in the form of Kurt Angle challenging for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship on WWF turf, or Kurt Angle being forced to wear the logo of WCW. Mixed feelings for Michael Cole and Kurt Angle, because the American hero has rightfully got his comeuppance against the WCW owner following the conclusion to the King of the Ring final. But should Angle lose to Shane tonight, and being forced to compete for WCW as a result, against the WWF, that would be devastating for the World Wrestling Federation, Cole confesses. The Rock is seen getting ready when in walks Chris Jericho. Depending on how their matches go tonight, there's a chance that Y2J and the Great One may never share a 20 by 20 foot square circle ever again. But there's also a chance that The Rock's first title defence, as WWF Champion, could well be the person stood across from him. Jericho speaks.
Look, Rock, if I think I know you well enough, and I'm sure I do, you'll be leaving Las Vegas tonight as WWF Champion. And if you know me well enough, you know that I and the Radicals will be winning tonight, and soon to collect our title shots. And when we do, Rock, I'm telling you right now that I'll be coming after you and your WWF Championship. So get ready, Junior. Chris Jericho, you want The Rock to get ready? What you fail to realise, Jericho, is The Rock was born ready, and The Rock will always be ready. But the question is, are you ready? Now, if The Rock thinks he knows Chris Jericho, he'll know Y2J will go out there tonight and lay the SmackDown on Triple H's candy ass, get himself a title shot, and come after the new WWF Champion, The Rock. But you see, Chris, The Rock will be waiting, because he'll walk down the People's Aisle, get in the People's Ring, and then Chris Jericho, The Rock will call you out in front of the millions and millions of The Rock's fans. So perhaps it's you who should be ready, Chris Jericho, as The Rock extends his right arm and tells you 3 simple words. Just bring it.
Jericho nods and walks off. Michael Cole and Tazz tell the audience that Sunday Night Heat's main event is about to start in a few moments. But before that, the commentators up in the skybox briefly run through the card for tonight's fully loaded pay-per-view. 10-man tag team elimination match. Triple H, Haku, William Regal, Big Show and Raven versus Chris Jericho and the Radicals, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko. Winning team will receive future WWF title shots of their choosing. Losing team will be fired. Women's Championship. Aja Kong defends her title against Jacqueline. The challenger must win and leave as Women's Champion tonight, or else Jacqueline is fired. Street Fight. Kurt Angle vs Shane McMahon. If Kurt wins, he will receive a future WCW World Heavyweight title shot. If Shane wins, Kurt must join WCW. European title on the line as Matt Hardy defends the belt against the Man Beast, Rhino. Six-pack challenge for the Hardcore Championship. Al Snow, Jerry Lynn, Steven Richards, Farouk and Bradshaw of the APA, and the Hardcore Champion, Rob Van Dam. Tables match for the tag team titles. X Factor the challengers, Dudley Boys the champions. Both opponents need to go through the table in order for a team to win. Triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. The champion Rikishi to defend the title against Edge and Test. And the main event, the World Wrestling Federation Championship, a rematch from WrestleMania 17, but this time Stone Cold Steve Austin is the champion, defending the title against The Rock. The Rock must leave as a new WWF champion tonight, or else he will never be able to receive another shot at the WWF Championship. Cole and Tazz talk about their final thoughts of the card as Boomer Sooner plays across Caesar's Palace. Jim Ross making his way down to ringside for commentary on Heat's main event. Cole and Tazz sign off from the Skybox. Their work is now done for Sunday Night Heat as we head to the commentary desk where Jim Ross talks with Paul Heyman about the hype going into Fully Loaded. I've Got It All plays in the Tron as it's time for the main event of Sunday Night Heat, the one Billy Gunn taking on Jeff Hardy. Jim Ross asks Paul Heyman, "Are you ready for tonight, Paul?" With Paul Heyman replying, "JR, I too, like The Rock, was born ready. What a card! Everything is on the line tonight, JR. Titles, careers, tonight really is fully loaded." Well, Paul, before the show starts, we've still got this match to look forward to. Jim Ross quickly goes through the recent events involving Jeff Hardy as the member of Team Extreme makes his way down to the ring. It can be argued that the rainbow-haired Daredevil has been overlooked as of late, when on SmackDown 10 days ago he took advantage of interference from both members of X Factor and Team Extreme, using the ladder to his advantage and scoring a victory over X-Pac. But if that wasn't impressive enough, then what about Monday Night Raw last week? Jeff Hardy taking advantage of a distraction from Shane McMahon, eventually hitting the Swanton on Kurt Angle and getting a pin. Yes, Jeff Hardy pinning the former WWF champion. The North Carolinian is the very definition of high risk, high reward. And whilst Jeff Hardy may be on a roll at this moment in time, it might be wise for the member of Team Extreme to keep his cards close and stay focused if he's to defeat the one Billy Gunn right now and continue this great momentum. As the singles competitors get into the match, Jim Ross brings up a point made by Vince McMahon on SmackDown when the chairman told Triple H that he wanted to make sure the game would be ready to help Vince when the time comes, as Vince said he'd be looking to change the trajectory of the World Wrestling Federation following Fully Loaded tonight. What does this mean exactly? Oklahoma's biggest Sooners fan is convinced that it involves Stone Cold Steve Austin retaining the WWF Championship tonight against The Rock, and that Vince's guarantee of not being in Austin's corner tonight is a lie, especially after Vince, Austin and Triple H's discussion early tonight in Heat. But Paul Heyman scoffs at JR's remark and tells Jim Ross that he's more paranoid than Austin is. A flurry of attacks finish with a kick to the face of Jeff Hardy, leads to the one Billy Gunn going for a pin. But just like Billy, the pin is also won. Paul Heyman tells JR his thoughts as they play catch up to events on Sunday Night Heat. What did Vince McMahon want with Chris Hero and Big Boss Man? Maybe that could be the reason for the changing of this trajectory. Jim Ross thinks that could well be the case. But what about the Big Red Machine? He interrupted the chairman and has demanded something from Vince. What could that be? Irish whip from the one Lisa back elbow. A pin is reversed by Jeff Hardy, who has Billy in a roll-up as the referee makes the count. Oh, just two. Jeff Hardy in the offense as the announcers discuss where Jeff Hardy's momentum could take him.
Don't you think, Paul, the sky's the limit for our rainbow-haired warrior? Oh, absolutely. Definitely a future contender for gold. Hey, how about the light heavyweight champion, Jerry Lynn? Well, definitely a contender for gold, Paul, but surely Jeff will want to aim higher. Hell, he beat Kurt Angle, a former WWF champion. Does the WWF title shot sound so far-fetched?
Jeff's attacks lead to a jumping splash, and he goes for the cover, but the referee's count only gets a 1. Jim Ross goes back to the subject of paranoia. Whether Austin is paranoid or whether JR is paranoid, there could also be someone else who's paranoid. Jeff Hardy climbs up the turnbuckle, looks for a top rope splash, and is successful as he goes for the pin, and the ref makes the count. But again, the 1, kicking out at 1. The person Jim Ross referring to about paranoia is Aja Kong after a blindside attack on Jacqueline earlier in the night. Surely the women's champion can't be afraid going into tonight's women's title match, as a great move by Billy goes for a pin, but Jeff Hardy kicks out at 2. And now look at the 1, he's taken a page out of Jeff Hardy's playbook, climbing the top turnbuckle with Hardy lying at ringside, and Billy Gunn connects with an elbow. Talk about big stakes and high rollers, there's nothing on the line for these two superstars, but sometimes victory is enough. Could it be that Aja Kong and Bull Nakano are concerned that we could be looking at a new women's champion in the form of Jacqueline? Heyman tells JR not to count his chickens. It's hard to beat Aja Kong one-on-one, so imagine an impossible task set for the challenger after recovering from an attack by both Aja and Bull, as well as no doubt Bull Nakano will also be at ringside. Jackie needs to come up with a new game plan, and quick. Neckbreaker on the 1, Jeff Hardy covering his opponent. Referee makes the count, ooh, not quite 3. Speaking of careers ending, tonight we're going to see at least 5, but who? Now whilst Jim Ross argues with the sentiments of Jericho's words earlier tonight, he'd love to see Y2J and the Radicals get the victory, but he argues that it shouldn't have come to this anyway. And regardless of the Oklahoma's feelings towards the 10-man tag team elimination match,
he's going for it, JR! He's going for it, JR!
Jim Ross is interrupted as Jeff Hardy climbs up the turnbuckle, looks to hit the Swanton bomb. Oh, nobody there! Billy Gunn just moves out in time. Crash and burn by the Daredevil. Billy Gunn on the attack with a flurry of punches. He picks up his opponent and hits a wheelbarrow driver. Pin using the legs, the referee comes round to make the count. Hardy kicks out at the last second. Oh, you can see the one getting frustrated now. He picks up Jeff by the head. He's driving the back of Jeff's head to the mat multiple times. Jeff's having to use the ropes to pick himself up as someone stalks the opponent like prey. But Jeff isn't done, countering with an elbow, and then goes into a Hurricane Rana, attacking Billy with punches as he lies on the mat. Where does Jeff get his energy from? Jeff Hardy's now the one back in control as he picks up his opponent. Kick to the gut. Oh, twist of fate! Twist of fate! And now Jeff Hardy heads to the top turnbuckle. He jumps up. Second time looking with the Swanton bomb. Yes! Jeff connects. He goes for the pin. The referee makes the count. The announcers believe that Jeff's crash and burn might have cost him victory just now, but the Enigma runs on adrenaline and certainly had some left in the tank. Countering Billy Gunn's attack to hit the twist of fate and successfully hit the Swanton at the second attempt to get victory just now. The Extreme Enigma's momentum almost matches adrenaline. Surely gold must be in the pipeline for Jeff, sooner rather than later. But for now, he'll be happy to have another victory under his belt. Jeff celebrates with the fans. Jim Ross finishes off his thoughts about the 10-man tag team elimination match, saying that if Triple H's team lose tonight, it will still be back for business. But nevertheless, Jim Ross and Paul Heyman quickly go through the fully loaded card and wrap up. The action in the ring is done for Sunday Night Heat, but the show hasn't quite finished yet backstage. In the locker room is Team Wreck, all 4 members discussing what's going to happen when Fully Loaded starts in a few moments. Kurt Angle vows to destroy Shane McMahon and then destroy WCW by becoming the first WWF superstar to wear the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Edge vows to become the next Intercontinental Champion, and both Edge and Kurt tell Rhino that he's going to go Matt Hardy and become the next European Champion, which puts a smile on the face of the Man-Beast. The 3 then look at Christian, but they don't know what to say to the young Canadian, as he's not booked for a match tonight, and it's clearly evident given the sad look at his face that he's not happy he's not booked, let alone challenging for gold like the rest of Team Wreck. The 4 are then interrupted when Vince McMahon comes into their room as they all turn their attention to the chairman.
Hey guys, I know you're all, well, most of you are getting ready for tonight. Kurt, I have no doubt in my mind Now you'll destroy Shane in that street fight. Then when he's done, you can kick the WCW champion's ass and bring the gold to the WWF, proving why there's only one real company in the wrestling industry. Edge, good luck in your Intercontinental title match against Rikishi and Test. And Rhino, good luck in your European title match too. But the reason why I'm actually here concerns you, Christian.
Mr. McMahon, this show tonight, it's a travesty. I mean, what good is a pay-per-view if there's no Christian on the show?
Well, Christian, I agree. Now, I know how you and Edge like to showcase your offbeat shenanigans and totally reek of awesomeness. And I saw what you did against the Brothers of Destruction on SmackDown. That's very ballsy, Christian. This is why I'm here. You see, I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is, Christian, that tonight you will be wrestling in a match in front of the Las Vegas crowd here at Fully Loaded.
Christian is pleased to hear the news, and the rest of Team Rec are happy for him.
Bad news is, Christian, that tonight your match will be a no-holds-barred match. And your opponent is Kane. Oh no!
God, as the collective shock in the locker room as Vince leaves, Angle, Edge and Rhino look at Christian, eyes widened and mouths open. Christian can't believe it, he's shaking his head, and no doubt wishes he would have stayed backstage instead. The Sunday Night Heat logo appears in the corner to close the show. Christian's gobsmacked look indicating that, whilst Angle, Edge and Rhino face the prospect of gold, Christian will be facing the prospect of, well, survival. Hey guys, sorry for my lack of posting as of late, but this pay-per-view is taking some doing indeed. And hopefully by you watching this video and perhaps noticing just some of the little extras that I've included in the pre-show, such as recaps to previous shows in tonight's matches and angles, and trying to add crowd noise and reactions to the promos done in the show, as well as the matches that took place, is the reason why this show is taking so long. Now add that to the hype packages that will be needed for the main show, i.e. the intro, and some of the main matches on the card. It's a lot, but I really feel it's going to be worth it. I just wanted to feel like you're watching an actual episode of Wrestling for 2001, and hopefully you can tolerate my terrible accent and impressions. Seriously though, shout out to video editors. You have my utmost admiration and respect for anything that you do. This is taking me a while. So I don't really want to jump too much into this conclusion, as I want to save all the, you could call like kayfabe breaking stuff to the conclusion of the Fully Loaded pay-per-view itself. You know, why I did this, why I booked that, etc, etc. And there's also a couple of funny stories as well. One, for instance, about how when I was working on this episode, this particular episode, regarding the part involving Stephanie McMahon and Chris Jericho, where I almost got in trouble with the police. I'm not joking, but I'm going to save that story for when the pay-per-view episode is out. So, if you made it to the end of this video, thank you as always, and so, cast your predictions. Who leaves as WWF Champion? Which team if I survive getting fired and will go on to earn WWF title shots of their choosing? How will Jacqueline react after tonight's ambush, knowing she must win the women's title in order for her career to continue? And now this is one of the reasons why I wanted to make a big deal out of Sunday Night Heat, taking advantage of the phrase, card is always subject to change, because we now have a 9-match show with the added no-holds-barred match where Christian will take on Kane. But I'm going to say it again, card is always subject to change. So I'll see you soon for the Fully Loaded episode. Now I'm nearly halfway through the show as we speak, and I'll continue to keep you updated. So thank you for continuing to bear with me, and as ever, thank you so much for watching.